6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes for this joint adventure, the Oil Brothers, where we can finally just talk about football. You know, as two clubs who are scrutinized in the media all the time for who they're owned by, we're coming together to fight that. We're going to try our best. Ed from Mancunian Way is in the chat. Craziness going on at every club at the minute. You're absolutely right. Dan, who's on the show, is saying hello to everyone, and evening bars from Alan. Now, our oil brother is late, as always. Martin loves to be late. Let's bring Dan in. How we doing, Dan? You okay?
Yeah, what a last 12, 20 hours. Jesus.
Oh, God. I know.
And I said in our group chat yesterday when Isak's statement hit Instagram, I was just like, all right, now we wait for the club. And you were like, yeah, not likely. And boom, within 90 minutes, there it was. I was like, yeah, this is going to be something else. I mean, I don't know. I'll wait until Martin gets here, but I was.
No, we can talk about it now because, I mean.
I am of the opinion that Isak will still be gone by the end of the transfer window. I fully expect that he will be out of the club, that someone will come in for him. It doesn't necessarily have to be Liverpool. And I have a feeling that we'll do some business somewhere very quickly, very quietly, just boom, get it done.
Exactly. Kumar, thanks for joining. Says big up Newcastle, fantastic stand against the Rat.
I feel bad for all of us. And again, I said this to Keith Downey while I was in Newcastle. I said the one thing that is positive out of this whole circus, the one thing that would come out of this is Eddie Howe continues to smell like a rose.
Yeah.
You know that this is tearing him up inside. You know that he is absolutely furious with everything that's going on. But you'd never tell. Not in public, at least. Not when he's sitting in front of the press. Because you can tell he's flustered. You can tell he's irritated. But he is a class upon himself. And I'm just thrilled that he's our manager. That's it.
So Martin's message saying, I said, on your way, he said, struggling to get in, signal poor. He said, no, I've got a Sly issue trying to resolve. And I'm guessing that meant Sky. He just missed out the K in it. So he's obviously having internet problems. So David, I'm hoping Martin's going to join us, but if not, hopefully you can enjoy the chat, ask us some questions about what's going on. That's what we're here for tonight. It's just to talk football. But, you know.
And you're clicking through the comments tonight, and I also would like to. This has been the thing that has been the discussion in my house since I got back from Newcastle. You know, we hadn't heard from Isak. And I'm sorry, but that statement that was released yesterday, that wasn't written by Alexander Isak. That was written by his representatives. That was obvious. But again, if someone made promises, if someone has stated, you know, we're going to re-up your contract, or you can leave at the end of the season, or whatever, name them. Say who it was.
Yeah.
Was it Amanda and Merdad? Did they say it? And then all of a sudden they were out of the club? Was it Yasser and the Piff? You know, did they say, yes, you're our favorite player, yet we will do whatever it is? Say it. if it was Paul Mitchell who pulled the plug on all of it, saying, "Not likely, mate. Let's see how this next year goes." Say it.
Yeah.
Don't say that there were broken promises and then not name who did it. That just says to all of us that it didn't happen.
I did say ask anything.
Daily. I don't watch it every day. I watch it every other day. I do a beard care once a week in order to soften it up a little bit. I use a what do they call them?
Oil?
An afro comb to straighten it out. Because it feels better. A regular comb. Sometimes I'll use a horsehair brush to make everything straight and everything. You asked, Ian. I'm giving it to you straight. And the only time you'll see it colored other than what it is at a match.
Yes,
I'm in Newcastle. I'm striped properly. And depending on how much I have to drink that night, I may get in the shower and wash it out, or I might wake up with a slightly untidy pillowcase.
A black and white pillowcase, though.
Yeah, so black and white pillowcase. Martin,
you sent me that crappy link.
The link was fine. The link was fine. I'll tell you why the link is fine, because I've just copied and pasted it and sent it again to you.
Well, 3 days ago you sent me that. It didn't work. Now you sent me the new one. It worked.
I copied and pasted it from the exact link that I sent you. And I also, exactly, and I tested it as well before.
I'm
thinking everyone's cutting it fine here. I better test I've sent the right link. And I knew I had, because I got into it. It's your dodgy Sky, whatever it is. Evening, Martin.
Sly. It's a Sly issue.
Sly issue, yeah.
Evening, Martin. Good to see you again, sir.
Evening. Yeah. I'm sitting back tonight. You're hosting, aren't you?
Yes, that is correct.
Go.
Right, well, my mate's just sent me a message, and I've got to read it because it's quite funny. He's just basically put banter in a picture. He's a Man United fan. He's a Man United fan, by the way. And I work with him. Sky Sports. Spurs looking to include Richarlison in deal for Eze and free up space to sign Johan Wissa.
Jesus.
We might as well just pack up our bags and go home when it comes to trying to sign a striker.
Well, everybody knows who needs one. That's the thing.
That's the problem.
Everybody knows who needs one. So if we're interested in, if we say we're interested in theirs, then the Newcastle tax comes into play.
Yeah.
So
Premier League tax, Newcastle tax. They know we need a striker, so they're going to try and hold out and force as much money as they can. You can't blame them for doing it, can you? Because we would do the same thing.
Look what Brent. Well, no, come on, man.
Oh, we would if Brentford were that desperate for a striker.
Premier League tax. I don't believe in any club tax. I used to do, but every club gets rinsed now.
Yeah.
My club are trying to do it with Spurs with 70 million quid. So everyone's
so if Spurs are interested in Wissa, are they being quoted 40 or 60 million?
We don't know, because they're trying to do a swap. So I don't know how it's going to work. But
as Pep said, there are no friends in football. There are only similar interests.
Yeah, I agree with that. There was a good question in the chat from David there. Do you think NUFC will eventually accept £120 million from Liverpool? The answer is no. We will not accept £120 million. Because go on then. Go on. Enlighten us.
You're not going to get 150 next year.
No, we're not. But
so you're not going to just say what you're going to get next year. And listen, I'm not advocating on Isak here. I'm not. There is no winner in this. Said this weeks ago.
Oh no, I agree with that.
Holding out to 150, I get, but you're not going to get 150 either way. Isak is never going to come back into the fold the way you want him to do.
No, definitely not. Agree with
agreed.
that.
Just 120 is one. There's not a massive difference between 120 and 150, really. I know it's standing on principle, and I get it. But if you're going to get 120 in a year's time, take the money now and run. Get rid of the problem. Cut the cancer out.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, Richard's right there. I'll never trust Isak playing for us under the current
That's what I'm
contract.
saying. Just cut it out and get go. This is the problem. When a player does this, there's no way back.
Yeah,
There's no way back.
It's Rickard, not Richard. Sorry, I read that wrong. David Anderson reported Arsenal lineup for Eze, so I think Spurs can pay big for Savinho. I don't think Savino's going anywhere, is he?
Up to now, no. I'll get into it when we do the city part. And I did imagine this.
There is no.
Isak. It related
No. It's not that we're not doing it like that. It's anything's on the table at any time. We're not doing a Newcastle section.
I want to rest in my transfer week. I've had the week from madness. I'm in the week of madness.
We're just here to talk football tonight, so I am going to take us in a complete different direction.
You've got one player. We've got about 5 going on at the minute. People, Fabrizio's agreeing deals. The players are denying it. The club don't know what's going on. It's crazy at the minute.
Well, that's it's life at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. He is that. But the thing is now, this for me, this is not turned into a game of this is now a game of morals, and this is a game of, I'm not going to let you win. Nobody's going to win.
No one's winning.
But does
winning here?
Does the teams who hold on to better players for the right amount win? As in, if we're bullied into selling them because of all the crap that turned his head with the Fabrizio and the Orenstein and all this sort of stuff, like publicly every day, every 2 hours, banging out messages saying, and trying to drive his price down. If we hold our own, and yes, we'll take a loss in the end eventually, but doesn't that show that if you've got some balls, you're not going to let these bigger teams win, like a Real Madrid win, a Barcelona win, a Liverpool win?
I think you've done that. How far are you wanting to take the we've got the balls part?
As far as it needs.
You're not going to. If you stick him in the reserves, that's going down a legal road on both sides.
Well, at this point, Martin, what are the legal ramifications for the club, for Isak, at this point, my feelings are the lad has now been on strike for 6 weeks?
Officially on strike for 4.
Is he on strike? Because that's the thing.
Yes,
Newcastle
and we continue to pay him.
No, but that's the thing, Dan. That's the problem. There's no clarity that's come out. Because yes, both statements came out,
right?
But there was still no real massive clarity. Newcastle didn't say we've stopped him training, and Isak didn't say I've stopped training.
Correct.
So no one knows the official line.
They've made him train on his own, away from the squad, away from the team.
So you just said it. Newcastle have made him train away. So that's not him
on
strike.
He's also said he won't play again for Newcastle. He's actually said that himself.
No, so that's what I mean. So now we're both doing that. We're both two gone, just going, we're not going to lose. Yeah. Nobody wants to give ground at this point. So he hasn't strike.
Well, yeah, because he said he's refusing to play. But we know he's refused to play, so we've said just train away.
I want to make a clarification. There is a clarification there. No, he hasn't said shit.
That's the
until he's on camera holding a Sky Sports microphone saying, I'm not going to wear the black and white shirt again. I don't believe any of it. I believe it's all his friggin' management team representative. We can't call him an agent because he's not a licensed agent. He is just a grifter as far as we're concerned.
Well, he's running off his brother's license, isn't he?
It matters not. This guy is after a mega payday so that he can retire. He's looking for making generational money for him, his family, and their business, whatever it is. And this is it. This is their chance.
That's where the legality part could come in, Dan. Because what you may get is now his side will go, well, as you know, in the UK, there is freedom of where you can move around, where you can work. And that's where I said this to you last week on mine. This is going to end up in CAS. This is going down the Court of Arbitration of Sport Road. This is where this is going. Unless somebody, sorry to sound crude here, takes their what out their hand and stops doing measuring stuff. Somebody has to give. If nobody gives, this is only going one way into a court, and we'll sort it out later on. And then neither side will win. Because you won't get your 150. He'll end up going out for something like 80, and Liverpool may have moved on and he's lost his liver. And everyone's a loser then. Because you can only fine him so long. I know this with Carlos Tevez. You can only fine him so long. You can fine him 2 out of 4 weeks, and you can only do it. Sorry, if I'm glitching, it's because the bar. When the bar comes on StreamYard, I glitch. I don't know why.
All right.
I don't know why. Watch now.
I moved it.
I'll fine again. I don't know how. So my apologies on that. So that's when you can only do it 2 out of the 4 weeks.
Yeah.
For a maximum of so long. You can't do it indefinitely forever. Because then it'll go, because someone will say, right, well, you can terminate contracts now. But you're not going to terminate his contract because he's an asset and you lose money. Yeah. So this is what I mean. I get everyone has done this. But you're 10 days away from a window. If he stays, are you going to play him? Are you going to integrate him back, get him back on side, and play him?
You would have to. It's a World Cup year as well, and he would need to play as well. But the problem is
there's a schism in the dressing room now. There's a schism in the locker room. There's
I read that statement, and Newcastle said, correct me wrong, certain parameters have not been met for what needs to be the exit door.
Right.
Do you know what we're at here? You rate Isak at 150, Liverpool don't.
Right.
And that's where we're at here.
That, and we haven't bought a striker yet as well.
We can't let Isak leave if we do not have a striker. We cannot go into a Champions League campaign with Willis Sula as the only striker at our club.
Yeah. Exactly. So there we go. We would definitely play him. And some problem is, would you get the 110% effort out of him if he played? And I don't think we do.
I don't think you get 50% effort out. I think he'll walk out on the pitch and just kind of run around. He won't make any effort to go for the ball. He won't do. No.
See,
that's the part that's irritating about the whole thing is Martin's absolutely right. No one's winning here. If by digging our heels in, waiting for
we're showing face, aren't we, rather than winning.
We're not going to get any money.
It's become pride. This is now a pride battle, not a who's a winner battle. This is who's got the most pride.
Yep.
And what it is 2 old heads going, we've got pride, you've got pride, and neither of us want to give up our pride.
Yeah. It makes sense.
You want 150, you're not getting 150 next summer. So take the 120, 130 and get out of town now and cut
the thing is, though, Liverpool have never offered that amount yet. They've only offered 110.
I thought they offered 110, 120. Up to
110 with add-ons, but we don't know what the add-ons were.
And we don't know whether they were achievable and all that sort of
so
stuff.
So Liverpool come back at 120, 130. Would you advise selling?
I would.
Yeah.
I'd take 120. I would take 120. I would take 120. I would take 120 and Harvey Elliott.
I'd take one, because that's going to make 170 because he's worth about 50 million in 40, 50. So yes, you would take that.
Today's
they're never going to offer that. I would take 120 with a 10% sell-on fee. Because if Real Madrid come knocking in 2 years' time, Liverpool are going to cash in for 100 million, and there's us getting that extra 10 million we're missing really in a way. So yeah,
but you know, then you'll ever get.
Well,
How old's 24?
25.
25. Here's my question.
He's ended his career at Liverpool and we got rocked up.
Nah, I doubt it. I reckon you'll do 2-3 years there. 28, you'll move to Barcelona or Real Madrid or someone like that, because that's the kind of person he is, and he'll want to try it in a different league. So we don't know how long his jeopardy is as well. He could play until he's 38 for all we know. He could be the next Zlatan. That's what he wants to be.
Do we have does Sociedad have a sell-on clause when they sold him to us?
Yes.
Do we know how much that is?
It's 10% on everything over 17 million. And that's the reason why we're holding out for as much as we can, because we still owe them 34 million as well.
Yeah, but by the way, Gary, I disagree that they will lose face at some point. Because money will always take over. And next year, if they've lost, like I said, they won't get 150 next year. Yeah. And when they start losing the money, that's when it'll change.
Yeah.
I think at the minute, I think, this is just me guessing, I think someone within Newcastle and someone at Liverpool think this is getting sorted out next week.
That's what I think. I agree.
Well, I think
I think we'll sit down and get this sorted out. Because I promise you, the day before the window, if Isak's still not moving, you will hit the panic station. You will hit the Liverpool want that. Because now they're going, right, you're now going into panic mode. Because you are not going to want to keep him at that point. I know everyone does all this. Let's keep him. Name me a player who said, I want out and stays.
Not for me.
Came back, did a month and then was out the door. Yeah. Van Hooydonk did not last long at Forest.
Suarez at Liverpool's probably the only one, isn't he, who actually stayed and played well and then moved.
He still went, and he went for a lot less. He went for less.
Yeah, but he stayed for another year, didn't he? So
and Cabai stayed for one window.
Yeah,
he played from fall until the winter, and then he went in the winter.
Right, but Beans put Kane there. We offered 100 million. He went to buy him for 80 or 85. They lost money on it.
Yeah, well, I agree. We are going to lose money, but the thing is, though, if we don't have a striker at all, and Isak's willing to stay for another 6 months to a year, then get the move that he wants, we would take that if we got the effort in that he put in last season, as in scoring 2021,
that's
22
what you
goals.
don't know. Are you going to?
Yeah, that's the problem. But that's the way we look at it.
And the rumor was that we saw after the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah.
After we won, after the celebration, after the tour bus parade, all that kind of stuff, we also saw Isak take a downturn in his form. Everybody assumed it was because of a groin pull, when in fact we've now heard that he effectively stopped doing what he was doing because he didn't want us he didn't want Newcastle to qualify for the Champions League, because then he could get his move easier because he wouldn't have Champions League football in his hands at Newcastle.
See, that's a rumor, isn't it?
It is.
It's starting to make sense though, because Craig Hall, which is one of your guys, even said this has been from the cup final onwards.
Yep.
I'm gonna point you out, and everyone's gonna laugh at me here because everyone. I mean, we talked about this, Baz, on the day. I messaged you, and you went, never mind. And I know we all did, but Isak made a comment to Van Dijk, and everyone went, "Don't mean it. Forget it." He went, "See you in May." And everyone laughed. Everyone joked about it. Maybe he's at you then.
Yeah,
and I'm not defending him. Again, I'm not defending Isak here. I think he's been an arsehole. But when you start looking things back, this is a lot more than just... People are thinking this is just this summer. This goes right back.
Yeah.
Right back.
But it's weird, though, because why would you say all the things that he said? If he wanted to move, you would keep quiet, wouldn't you? Like he is now.
That was his agent. If yesterday was his agent, then was his agent, wasn't it?
Yeah, but all the things he's been saying in public, like when he was interviewed, when he was on Sweden duty, saying, I know, but it's very hard to lie.
I keep having this debate with my own fan bases. Stop believing what Pep, players, everyone keeps telling you in the public domain. Pep Guardiola on Friday was saying, Edison's a fit. He's travelling, not a problem. Next day, not there. He's suddenly got gastroenteritis within 4 hours.
Right.
what we do in it, but it is a party piece that fans fall for every time. Drip them a line, and I've realised that this summer with Vissa, with Isak, on a very, very and I don't think it's anywhere near it, but obviously Sabino in an Edison situation, players want out, they get out.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say on that, Isak down tools, he didn't want to be in the Champions League. If that was right, and this is another theory, if he down tools and wasn't playing well on doing that, why did he score the penalty against Brighton, which effectively got us into the Champions League? He could have put that wide or put it over the bar. No one would know. But that's down in tools and not playing well is just the same as missing a penalty, isn't it? You know,
it's not called Bruce Glover.
Right. Well, but he wasn't taking a bung and fixing the match. He was just
bunging himself.
Bunging himself. Yeah. If I miss this, we're not going to get Champions League football. I can get my moves to Liverpool. You know, it's an easier way to do it.
What would I say? Sell him. No, that's the difference. I'd sell him, Ian. I don't care about morality and this. Sell him.
Yeah.
No, I think at this point
we have a buyout clause on Haaland, by the way. That's why we're clever. We have a buyout on him of 200 million quid.
Yeah.
Liverpool doesn't want to face Isak on Monday. Newcastle doesn't want Liverpool to have him on Monday. They don't want him making his debut at St. James's Park. So, and all of this mess isn't going to get resolved before Monday because everybody's focus is on Monday. I say Tuesday we will probably hear that the wheels are in motion, that Isak is now going to go, and we're going to get somewhere in the realm of 125, 130 is probably what we'll get. It'll be worked out, as Martin said. Two old heads, one at each club, is going to sit down and say, let's figure this out. The problem for us, Martin, is we don't know who that is at Newcastle right now. It could be Steve Nixon. It could be, who knows? Liverpool could walk in and Yasser's sitting at the table. And he's saying,
be careful with him. He will jump as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Alvarez came to City 18 months, was looking for the move. Gone to Atletico Madrid 18 months later, looking for the move. Follow the patterns.
With this one, the Saudis have already said we're not going to deal with Newcastle and Saudi because of the fair market value situation and everything that's gone on with the Premier League. They don't see it as being sensible in doing that. So that's why we haven't looked at it. I mean, Ivan Toney for me, Mitrovic short term, you're thinking we're desperate, why not? But they have said they won't do it. Right, let's move away from Isak because let's face it, it's a shit show.
It is.
Yeah, and it's not good for any. For me, it's not good for either side. This.
Yeah.
And again, Martin, before you joined, I said the only one that continues to come out of this smelling like a rose is Eddie Howe, because he has when he's facing the public, you can tell he's upset, but he's not going to let it faze him. He is preparing his players to play week in, week out. That's his job. That's what he's doing.
That should be the most important thing for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Again, wages are an issue, aren't they? Right, let's talk a subject which has affected both clubs. So I want obviously Martin's side of this as well, because it's starting to happen to us. It's probably already been embedded in the City side for a few years. Ticketing. So, yeah, exactly. Free ballots, 0 wins. So the official NUFC website has a link to its ticketing page, and it takes you to this message on SeatGeek. Is the club actively pushing tickets to ticket agencies? So how often has that been happening in that city, and how long for?
No, ours don't do that.
We don't do that. Okay.
We don't do ballots. That will come. We're not at ballots yet. We're at the £35 pay membership situation.
Yeah.
Well, City is still in loyalty points schemes and all this at the minute.
Right.
Our issue is what you just said, third-party issues, but it's done in a way of. So, for example, I can't make a Manchester City game on my season ticket. I pay, for example, £500 a month a year for my ticket. Across 19 games is what? 50 quid, 27 quid a ticket, roughly. We'll mark that round as. I only get, if I sell that back to the club, I only get £27.
So
Right.
surely you should be getting face value, shouldn't you?
No. I get £27, £1.19. Wow. So my ticket then goes on the club transfer ticket exchange site. That is Be a Go-Go and SeatGeek and all these other stuff. And they are publicly advertised Be a Go-Go everywhere. And so my seat, because it is literally 5 rows from the front, pitch side, level 0, pitch side, everything, behind the goal, all bells and whistles, can smell what Haaland's got in his aftershave, etc. Then goes for about 70 quid.
Yeah.
I'm getting 27, the club are getting 70, 80. That's where it's different. So the club are the actual touts in a way.
Yeah.
That's where we were like, they've now changed it this year. To the credit, we had to do a massive protest with our fan group, 1894, MCFC Food Bank, Social Blues on Facebook. Loads of people were involved in it. Massive. You saw all the videos and the posters.
Yeah.
Thing. We were even protesting not going in the ground.
Mm.
We were doing 9 minutes, standouts like Sheffield Wednesday did the other day.
Yeah. We've done it before as well. To be fair, we're under Ashley.
We played Leicester. Now the big thing is it did work because our game gets screened across worldwide, Saudi Arabia, everywhere. Mm. Now, if you're Khaldoon Al Mubarak, if you are His Highness Sheikh Mansour, you don't want that publicity. Mm. You don't want empty. And the best thing happened was we scored a goal in the first 2 minutes. You couldn't have got better advertising into it. It was like, just thank you. So now you've got an empty stadium celebrating away in the first 2 minutes.
Brilliant. It's just like COVID all over again.
We were all celebrating it in the concourse underneath, going, yeah, let's go. And on the 9th minute, we all came down singing, We're not really here, scoring goals in an empty. We were just taking the piss galore. Then they came and sat down with us.
Yeah.
They didn't want that anymore. We then did another one for Wolves, which was 9 minutes. Don't buy anything on the concourse. Don't give them your money. Don't do this. Don't do that. Mm. Again, it worked. And they did come back to the table. They put a cap on prices, which was good because season ticket prices are amazing. Our issue was match day ticket prices. Mm. We shouldn't be in a working class city of Manchester, in the northern of the country. 70, 80 quid for Bournemouth at home is a joke. Bournemouth at home, 70 odd quid. Burnley are one of them. One of them was Burnley a year or two back. 60 odd quid minimum. Burnley. We're not talking United. We're not talking Liverpool. We're not talking any of that.
We're talking Burnley.
But we sat down. But they've now changed it. You've now got to have a minimum of so many games that you attend with your ticket. You can transfer it to somebody on your friends and family list, but you have to ring up the club and give them all your details for your friends and family.
Oh, wow.
So they can track it. We're also now this season bringing in facial recognition systems on the turnstiles.
Brilliant.
So we're all going to have... Now, apparently, they're not going to be turned on. Was the line we got from everyone. So why are you going to use them then? Why have you installed them if you're not going to use them?
Use them, yeah.
Yeah, doesn't make quite sense. So we're going into a very... They're going to track,
Yeah.
They're going to track your watcher and everything else. And basically, they don't want somebody who goes to the ground, pays 30 quid, buys no food, buys no anything, and goes home. We don't want that. You and
No, they want the fans from abroad to
dead
come in,
weight.
don't they?
Hey, I'm one of those.
No, but this
Dan-
shows it works, doesn't it? Because you come
Dan,
over,
what
you'll
wasn't
pay
that
corporate
was
tickets.
we were doing it for the fans abroad as well. Why should
Yeah.
a fan abroad have to pay £80 a
Yeah,
ticket and someone
exactly.
local pays 30?
We're,
wrong.
we're paying minimum 187
But
a
why?
game now.
Now
Because,
I've got loads.
because hospitality is the only way we can get in.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's what we're trying to stop.
Mm.
Now I have loads of American friends. You know this, Dan. Can I get £500 for a ticket? Is normal I know it is. I've been to America enough times. Just because it's normal in America, don't make it right in the UK.
Right. Agreed. Yep.
Different economy, different way of living.
Yep.
Different
America-
sport as well, though, because America, they got American football that lasts 4 or 5 hours. You're in the stadium.
But not only
Football's
that,
90 minutes.
it's a different world. In America, you can know this. You can negotiate your wage on jobs. Can't do that in England. I can't sit with my boss. I know my job as a teacher. I go in. This is your wage.
Yeah.
I can't sit and go, well, I've got that diploma, I've got that degree, I've got this, I've got that, and let's negotiate my wage.
Mm.
It's a different world. It's just a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
But if I go to America or I go to Australia, fine, I have to adopt their principles and everything else. Yes, you can what?
Probably negotiate your wage. I know some jobs
Only on top jobs you can.
Yeah. But
Only
not
on
every
top
job.
jobs.
Yeah.
I work for the government here. I'm a teacher. You can't negotiate my fee on a teacher, so
Yeah.
I know
you
that, mate.
have to go on strike and you have to try and
Yeah,
get a pay
I'm in a
rise, don't
union.
you? Yeah.
So I'm in unison, etc. So it's very different. It's just very different.
Yeah, it
But
is very, very
You'll
different.
get it and you'll get used to it and you live with it.
Yeah, true. Dan, it's very disappointing to read that our club is doing it, though, isn't it? Because, you know, we all thought, I mean, Martin warned us of it, but we thought the Saudis might be a little bit different and make sure the real fans got tickets. I know it's money.
This is what talks. This is what it talks. You know,
I don't care about you.
Yeah, I know.
We're
It's ridiculous,
punters.
isn't
That's it. We're punters and we're walking, talking ATM machines. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And
Your customers. I'm going to be blunt.
Yep.
Did something years ago. He compared Manchester City to Disneyland.
Oh, really?
He said, when you go to Disneyland, you want to see Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And he called Sergio Aguero our Mickey Mouse.
True.
Well, it makes sense.
Tells you everything you need to know.
Kevin De Bruyne was Mickey Mouse.
You got to realise fans come to the state. That's part of the thing with Isak as well. You lose Isak, you'll lose some fans.
Yeah.
Because they're not there for Newcastle. They're
there for the player.
Same with us with Haaland. Haaland goes, we'll lose some of the Norwegian fan base because they're there for Haaland.
Yeah.
In 2025, fans follow players and managers now.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I agree. Right. Different topic again. Talking football. Back to Liverpool, though. The absolute disgracefulness of the Liverpool fan who racially abused Semenyo. The great news is he has been banned from all UK football stadiums. Now, why in 2025, Dan, are we still seeing this problem?
Because I have my own theories, and it has to do with politics here in the United States as well. Because there was an underbelly that was fairly invisible for a while, and then unfortunately in 2016, those voices were given a platform, and they were allowed to come out. And then they went away for a couple of years, but they were a lot more emboldened. And then in November, that same platform came to power again. So my thoughts are, there's a population out there that were raised in households where this was an everyday thing, where people are thought less of, and those kids who are indoctrinated in it, they tend to run in the same circles with other people, so they meet their wives and partners in those communities, and the cycle continues. So I mean, how old do you think that guy in the wheelchair was? He didn't look more than 45 years old.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And and a Scouser, that's a blue collar neighborhood. Would that be fair to say? It's just a population again that just brought up with those feelings, and they haven't gone anywhere. And I fear for all of our inclusivity, for all of our open-mindedness, for all of our expectation that this would eventually be eradicated. Unfortunately, there's a pocket of humanity that just will not go away in terms of that.
Yeah, there is a minority, but the problem is the minority always gets seen on TV and doing stupid things. I mean, the guy had a lot of balls for someone who could be flipped over like a turtle.
Yeah.
I mean, Semenyo could have really hurt that guy. I mean, why would you even do it?
Well, I saw jokes on racism saying that guy can't even stand up to racism. That's why. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh Christ!" It's a bad element. It's an element that is stuck in an era where superiority complexes reign supreme, and they still are.
That's perfect from Kathy. Can't believe someone who probably suffered prejudice through being disabled didn't realize how hurt someone can be through name calling. It's crazy.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, Martin, what's your thoughts on it? I mean, again, it's one fan, but it echoes the fan base, doesn't it? And really puts a bad spotlight on them, especially everything that's been going on at Liverpool. It's.
I said some weeks ago, because I do a lot of Twitter Spaces. Social media has become a real problem. The way people behave in 2025 is a real problem. I don't know if this is because of the pandemic we came out of, or whatever. I don't know whether everyone came out of it very angry people, very untrustworthy. I don't know. Something has changed, and I'm not making any excuse for anyone here. The guy's a scumbag, and I will say that. Anyone who does anything racist is a scumbag in my eyes. Has very little IQ, and it needs to have a word. And it is what it is. And I'm not gonna paint all Scousers and Liverpool fans with one brush because of one idiot. I tend not to do that.
Yeah.
The world's a very nasty place right now. A very nasty place, and people are using. I go around and I speak to a lot of people around the world, and they're all angry. Doesn't matter whether they're old or whether they're young or whether they've got disabilities or whatever. Everyone is angry. You can't have a civilized conversation anymore with anybody.
No, it's very difficult.
How many times do you have a conversation before it breaks into a 3-hour argument with everyone? People love all these YouTube channels that we are on because they're hoping the thing that gets clicked and the thing that gets shown around is all the arguing and the shouting and the bawling. Nobody wants to watch a sensible adult conversation. Because people hide behind, and what changed it for me in the world is you are now seeing, within the UK especially, a lot of, this as yourself, you're getting a lot of verification stuff now in the world. Facial recognition, fingerprint recognition. You want to sign in here, you want to go on social media, you've got to start putting in passports and face. So we've now got facial recognition where you put your camera on your phone and they scan your age. the world is a big place, but the world's also a nasty place.
Yeah,
I do
agreed.
shows weekly, daily at the minute for 4 hours. I speak with people all the way from Australia to India, all the way back around to UK, and everyone it gets angry. And that's just over football. God knows when we go into politics.
Right. Yep.
And
Politics is the worst.
No one is born a racist. You choose to be a racist.
Yeah.
I don't believe in all this. Oh, I'm an alcoholic because my dad was an alcoholic. No, you chose to be an alcoholic. Yes, to be learned behavior, but you can unlearn behavior as well.
Yeah, I think sometimes if you're born in the wrong family and it's passed down by the parents and it's drilled into you, it's a bit like. And this is another big hot topic that will get a load of crap when you say it. But religion, it's kind of forced into you. I was not raised in a house where Christian or whatever. I don't believe in anything. So, but if I had parents who did believe in it, then maybe I would, because it gets passed down to you, doesn't it? And that's the problem with racism, isn't it?
My grandma was a practicing, bless her cotton socks. She's been dead now for a long time. Love her to bits. She was a Irish Catholic, proper. Went to church every week. My dad the same. I'm not.
Yeah.
Just because my grandma and my dad, I don't mean I am.
Yeah. But sometimes it's drilled into you, though. Sometimes.
Yeah. But sometimes drilling things into people can also have the opposite effect.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, you can deflect.
It can make you go, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I just think people, there should be tougher laws. Personally, I wouldn't just ban him from football and put him in prison for a bit.
Yeah, that'll make him think. But this is the problem. Maybe the rules aren't harsh enough.
No, they're not.
You see people, I mean, people who get caught with IPTV, for example, 5 years in prison. Then you get somebody who's a nonce and they get a year. And you think, how the hell does that work? The crime doesn't always, the punishment doesn't always reflect the crime sometimes. And it all depends on what's the hot topic in the news or in the country over things that are going on. And like you said, the world's a horrible, nasty place. And unfortunately, the only way to solve it online is everybody who signs up to any sort of social media platform like YouTube, like Twitter, you know, all them sort of stuff. They're only allowed one account and you have to put your ID in and you have to use a picture of yourself. But at least putting your ID in then makes you easier to find, and only one account. And if you're suspended for a reason, it's tough shit. That's the only way to solve it. But they won't do that because it makes money having more accounts. If you have 10 accounts, they're making more money because of that. So, yeah, it's a vicious circle, isn't it? Right, next topic. This one's quite a funny one. Jamie O'Hara, who's just an absolute cretin, talking about Jordan Pickford having the penalty of all the players on the water bottles. I mean, this has been going on for years. So, and he's saying that it's cheating. Why is it cheating when you're just sort of trying to gain an advantage by being smart?
Right.
Is my argument. I mean, he didn't save the penalty anyway. He scored it. It was a great penalty. But as a goalkeeper, you want to find any edge you can get.
Any advantage.
When you're facing
a penalty. It's not been going on for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, it could be. They've had paper lists in towels. They've put them on the water bottles now.
Did dances. What are we doing here?
Yeah,
exactly. We had goalkeepers.
Yeah, knobbly knees, didn't he? And wobble around.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. I just don't get it.
And it's a 50-50 chance between the penalty taker and the keeper.
Yeah, so you do anything you can, don't you?
Running out of stuff to bloody talk about, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
probably.
And I don't have time for Jamie O'Hara. I just don't.
There's no to talk about anymore.
No, but it is a bit of a debate because I mean, obviously, the England goalkeeper did that in the women's final. But also the Spanish goalkeeper did it as well. But our women's, I think it was our goalkeeper. She threw the Spanish bottle into the crowd, which I think is absolutely hilarious. And if you get the chance to do that, you would do it, wouldn't you? It's just shithousery in my eyes.
I mean, what did you want? A law bringing in, and we'll do the law for about a month.
And then everyone
And
will
then
find
it'll
they'll
go.
find a new way to do it. They'll find another way to do it.
Yeah,
won't they?
because then I watched it. Then I referees. Remember that law of you have to stay on your line until the ball is kicked.
Well,
Right?
that is monitored though, isn't it, by VAR now?
It-
You have
it's
to have.
monitored, but I don't think it is fully. Watch some of these goalies; they are not on their line when that ball is going.
It's supposed to be one part of your foot on the line,
Yeah,
not
they're
both feet,
not.
one foot. And when the ball's kicked, and if it's not, it's supposed to be retaken.
But
And
the trouble
VAR
is,
is supposed to be watching that.
VAR is only run by human beings. Who
Yeah.
you say we're object. So you're still in the hands of a personal opinion.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah, but
VAR don't work for me.
With a
Because
foot
it's
on the
not
line,
morally right or wrong.
a foot on a line shouldn't be about opinion, though. It's actual fact, isn't it? It's like a no ball in cricket. Your foot's either over the line or it's on the line. And that's what the cameras are there
It's
to
not,
do, to
it's-
determine.
It's mind games. You know, these people used to scuff the penalty spot up.
Yeah. Yeah,
How many
yeah,
players
stamping
do
on it.
that? How many players do? We used to do it on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney said to Carlos Tevez, "Don't miss now, you prick."
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Fine him for 10 minutes? What are we doing here? And that was caught on a documentary, Wayne Rooney saying that to Tevez. But he went like that. Do you know when they're all cupping their hands like that? Do you think they're all having a chat nicely? They're calling each other all sorts.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. It's obviously true, but I just find it funny that that's a topic that we have to discuss, because if both keepers do it, so neither side's gaining an advantage because both of them are doing it.
Do it.
Yeah, and just because they've got a list of where they potentially could go doesn't mean they're going to go there. The keeper's still got to read the player's body, hasn't there? So there we go. Right. This was interesting, and this really wound up a lot of Newcastle fans. So apologies, Martin. Back to the Isak saga. Very quickly, though. Away to Villa. Game's finished. All the players go to applaud the Newcastle fans to say thank you for their support on the day. Sky Sports decide to cut the noise of us singing "One Greedy Bastard" about Isak, which was not at the same time the players were there, but made it look like it was.
Right.
And Sky Sports eventually had to take it down, and it got swept under the carpet. Then Keith comes out and says, "Oh, we wouldn't have meant it that way," and blah, blah, blah. No, you did. And this is more biased towards clubs, and it's making me angry, but making us look bad. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make the Newcastle fans look bad with the players in front of them, even though they weren't there at the time that song was being sang. And they've took it down, but no one's apologized from Sky for it. They just took it down and then used Keith as a mouthpiece to say, "Oh no, they wouldn't have meant to do it that way. It was just a mistake." But Dan, I'm really angry about it, as you can tell.
And then there was another story that all the fans, the Villa fans and the Newcastle fans, were singing about the Premier League being corrupt.
Yeah.
So, and everybody was unified in their in their joy of that, because now all of a sudden the Premier League's starting to go, oh crap! How many times are we going to hear that at other stadiums this season? So,
how we're going to drown it out and
I think again, every news outlet, every reporter, every sports, social media franchise, every one of them is taking advantage of the situation that our club finds itself in with this unfortunate saga that has now plagued our summer. That's it. So that was an easy one to just glom onto and throw out. So but it also shows that there was. I think now if you go and watch any of the mainstream media news outlets, if they've got a reporter on the street who's out there with a microphone talking to fans, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we would have seen others. We would have seen some pundits go. I mean, some punters going, I hope he stays. I hope he comes to his senses and decides that. I think the fear now is that if someone goes out and starts talking to fans out on the street, every single one of them will say, "Get the rat out."
Yeah, No, they are. They 100% are.
Yep.
Have you ever seen that with City when you first got took over, like Sky and other companies, like, mix and matching things to make you look bad?
No, they just don't commentate on us very well. The only thing we get is we generally get how much our squad has cost compared to everyone else's.
Yeah, we get that.
I've never you watch. I've never heard. There was one game, I can't remember the game, where they literally announced every single player and announced the fee. And
really,
they were like, "What are we doing here? This is not window season. This was like in November or November, December."
Really,
and he's like, Manchester City's goalkeeper, Edison, 33 million quid from Benfica. He's on this one. What are we doing here? Then they were announcing the bench, comparing it to everybody else. I'm like, you don't do this for anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, why is it only us you're announcing fees and wages and everything for?
Right.
So, yeah.
It just shows you there is a bias and a vendetta against certain teams. And here's another example, and I find this really funny. Mikel Arteta, by the way, since 2023 against the Big Six, has never lost a game. Right. So who's the Big Six in the last 2 years?
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. We even got that. I forgot about that one. Our spending got compared to the worldwide nation armourers.
Brilliant.
They were saying we'd spent more than what some countries had spent on their wall
defences.
What are we doing here?
Jesus. But again, like I say, this one here, I mean, in 22 games, according to this Arsenal fan, Mikel Arteta has never lost to the Big Six since 2023. But who's the Big Six in the last 2 years? He hasn't included Newcastle or Villa in there, has he?
Yes, traditional Big Six.
Yeah, he's saying the traditional Big Six, but yet he's lost 4 times to Newcastle and he's lost twice to Villa. So there you go. There's another example of just.
He means United.
Yeah, Spurs.
Chelsea, Liverpool.
But it's crazy though, isn't it? Because
you can't lose against yourself, so it should be Big Five then, or whatever they want to do. You don't know why they call themselves Big Six. They can't lose against themselves.
Yeah, that is very true. Very, very true. News channels employ people who's... Go on, Dan.
No, I was saying Gesundheit to Martin. He sneezed.
All right.
No, I'm getting off major chest infections. I've been on 3 long antibiotics.
Now you know how I feel. That's what happened to me. A nightmare. Right, what's all this about? You probably did, yeah. What's this about with Kanji? Is he off? Is he staying?
Kanji doesn't even know.
That's a good place.
Kanji doesn't even know if he's off or staying. Listen, that today's I don't know how the club are moving anymore because we decided this again. Dan, this is not a dig. Again, my American friend told me this. It's very American where the owner or the chief exec sells you without you telling you or you've been informed, you've been traded or moved on. That is exactly what Akanji was done today. It was you go in. I'm going where, by the way? Like Galatasaray, and he went, am I? I've not even spoke to him. Am I going? All right, I'll pack my bags. He was in training today. Edison was in training today.
Wow.
But everyone's moving because Fabrizio won't shut his mouth.
Oh, God, yeah.
What's happened is someone at City, and I have an idea of him. I won't name him because I don't want to lose my season ticket. The simple facts of this is, by the way, big up City on Saturday at the Etihad. Let's go, 12:30. I'm all up for facial recognition. I think we're getting to a stage where players are scared now. It sounds a bit bad to say anything. Because Edison's done... Edison has literally done the okey-cokey. He's in and out. He's shaking it all about. But you see,
you've almost replaced him with Donnarumma, haven't you?
But this is the problem. City don't normally announce their
intentions,
incomings before they've done any outgoings. They've never done that. That under Cheeky and under Pep and everything else, we were very quiet. You never heard about City news from Fabrizio because City never gave him anything. It was always our local journals, Sam Lee, Jack Garn, Simon
Right.
Majowski, people like that. Now that's seemed reversed, and everyone's getting sold without the player's knowledge. Nobody knows. Savinio's been made out to be this guy who's literally doing an Isak, and he's not done an Isak whatsoever. He's not even asked to leave. Some journal on Twitter has said Savinio said he would like to explore. All
His
players
options.
explore.
Yeah.
That's not, I'm out. He hasn't refused to play. He has been injured. There's nothing you can do about that.
No, definitely not.
But the City have said to Galatasaray, 50 million quid for Edison, you can have him. They've offered us 10.
Right. Oh,
Tottenham we don't get on with. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether. But the trouble is, nobody's thinking now of Savinio or Edison. All the people are thinking of are Donnarumma, Rodrigo. That's all. Everyone's gone to the next stage now. So
Right.
what happens if Rodrigo doesn't come, Savinio will get the blame. If Donnarumma doesn't come, Edison will get the blame. And it'll just turn into madness. And sadly, you get people like James Trafford who's just going to get left behind here.
Yeah.
Said that
Had
to you
to.
when I rang you up privately.
You did, yeah.
James Trafford, what the hell's he probably thinking right now?
Mm.
I come home to, yay, I'll play 2 games and Donnarumma's in.
Yeah. I do feel sorry for him, but it's just one of those things, and it's football. Right. There was an incident in the Chelsea Crystal Palace game. You probably know where I'm going with this one.
Yes.
The free kick that was rightly ruled out in my eyes. It was a great hit, don't get me wrong, from Eze.
Was every keeper saving that? I had this debate the other day. Someone was saying some people said easy save. Some are saying it was blasted too much past him and he had no chance.
I think a top keeper may have saved it. I think a lot of other keepers would have struggled because he did hit it hard, let's face it. Reminded me a bit like Shearer against Leicester, but that one came through the wall at some pace. The keeper should have had a good sight of this one. But what do you make of the rule? Now, this rule apparently has been in play for a few years. So law 13 on free kicks, where 3 or more defending team players from a wall, all attacking team players must remain at least 1 meter, 1 yard from the wall until the ball is in play. Now that I get the rule, I understand it, but apparently there's been a lot of other examples where this hasn't been put into play, the actual rule itself. Do you agree with the rule to start with?
Wasn't there a time when both players of a team could mix it up in the wall?
Yes, and that's when they bring this rule in to stop that from happening. You can still have 2 players mixing it, but you can't have 3 players mixing it. Right. Because what people were starting to do is put their own wall in front of the wall, weren't they, to make it difficult for the goalkeeper to see. And they decided that was a unlawful way of doing it. But personally, I still think the goal should have been ruled out anyway. Not for that rule, but for a free kick. Because if you watch Gear, he completely drags the Chelsea player out of the way, which creates the gap where the ball goes through. Now, had he not been dragged away, that just would have hit the Chelsea player. So for me, it was ruled out. It should have been ruled out for that reason. It should have been a free kick to Chelsea anyway. Would you agree, Martin?
Yes, probably would. Probably would. I don't like all these rule changes.
But this one's, like I say, been in for years, but that foul would be a foul regardless. I don't think that's even a rule change. If you watch it from behind the goal again, watch how much Gear interferes with the Chelsea player, and he literally drags him out of the way. He knows what he's doing because he's creating that hole so he can get the ball through.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do. Yeah, when you look at it from that angle. So yeah, again, maybe I'm too old-fashioned. I think that's a good old bit of rough and tumble, and you know,
we've seen it loads of times, haven't we?
That's
Shoulder
what I
barges,
mean.
dipping,
And the trouble is that now sets a precedent of, right, let's switch it around the other way. If that's done the other way around, is that a penalty?
It should be, but it probably won't be given.
That's the problem with the rule. That's the problem with the rule.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the whole thing. If that was outside of the box, it would be a free kick.
Yeah, you know, that would have been a red card anywhere else on the pitch. No, it's not though, is it?
Yeah, because it was in the corner flag, it's not a red card and all this sort of stuff.
It?
And like, do you know when a player shields the ball and they get really rough and they back off and all that sort of stuff? If they did that in the middle of the park, they'd have a free kick given against them because they weren't playing the ball. But yet it's okay to do it when it's in the corner. So the rules baffle me sometimes. They really do. What did you make to you open day success? Was it as comfortable as the scoreline said?
For me, yeah. I thought we were exquisite. Exactly how I thought we'd play. Yeah, a little bit nervy at times, first 10, 15 minutes. I expect it. We've had one pre-season game plus the post-season tournament in the World Club World Cup. No, I was over the moon. I thought Oscar Bob, real life to Johnny Reinders. I think he'll be the signing of the whole Premier League this summer. He is some player, him. Some player, and to get him for 45 million quid is daylight robbery.
I've heard a lot of people saying this.
I feel like I need to go and give AC Milan a bit more money here. I feel like I've done them over with the pants down, but hey, listen, you know. But that's another thing you never heard about. City only pay big, massive fees, apparently. 25 million quid for Ryan Cherky to come off the bench, and for me, he is going to be David Silva regen. He is going to be David Silva regen. He's got that low sense of gravity. You know them players where you can kick them, tackle them, you just not get the ball off them.
Yeah.
Very much like that. Cracking first goal. Oscar Bob running through the middle in his favourite role. Rico Lewis, by the way, got to give a special mention out for him. And James Trafford, I thought was exceptional. That third goal doesn't happen without Trafford's pinpoint accuracy on his kick in. And that's why it makes the Donnarumma thing a bit more weird. But we want to be like Real Madrid now. So, hey ho, go with that, I guess. Donnarumma sells shirts, Trafford don't. I get it.
That is true, to be fair, though, isn't it? Are you only buying Donnarumma because of the name where Trafford isn't the name?
People are telling me no. And then I hear all this, you know, these stats. Donnarumma's kickings just as good as Trafford's or just as good as others. Well, it's not, because there are different types of kicking.
That's true.
There's a difference between a 30-yarder onto someone's foot and a 30-yarder into the middle of the pitch and someone runs on together.
Yeah.
That's not pinpoint accuracy. That's just launching the ball and your mate gets on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's be like you with your assist. Like, by the way, you won't
quality.
Shut up. You will not shut up about that assist.
It's quality.
You fell over, man.
I didn't fall over. I shouted at him. I said, let's do it. And we did it. Beautiful assist. Lovely 1-2.
Dear me.
I watched that match with a single Man City fan and 3 Wolves fans, and I will tell you that it was. I took no pleasure in watching the Wolves fans watch their team fall apart. I felt bad because I thought that they were at least given. They were at least given some action, but after the first goal went in, then they just kind of fell apart. It was almost a capitulation, and it was sad.
Are you worried for Wolves?
Fair play to Man City. You know, there was some excellent football to watch. So, say again, Paz.
Are you worried for Wolves?
I am this season. They clawed their way out of the relegation zone last year. I don't think they're going to have the capability to do that. And if for some strange reason their number 9 ends up in a black and white kit for whatever reason, I'll be convinced that they're going down. So I feel bad for them.
I can't see Wolves selling him because he is their single hope of staying up.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But at the same time, if stupid money comes in, if Newcastle gets stupid money and
But
they
when have
turn around and
Newcastle
spend
ever offered
money,
stupid money though? Look at what we're
well,
doing with Wissard. We've offered 35 plus 5.
we were willing to pay stupid money for both Ekatike and Shesko.
Yeah,
So-
true. I still can't see it.
So
But yeah,
we'll see.
you never know. You never know. Who are your free to go down, Martin? After the first weekend of the season,
I had Leeds, but I'm just going to stick.
they
to
were
Leeds.
good. They were very good the other
I'm going to
night.
stick to. Well, Leeds good or whatever and bad.
I think Leeds were good, but I think what's going to stop them from potentially staying up. I think they're a lot better than what we all expected, but scoring goals.
Well,
Killing teams
I know
off.
I know someone who knows Jack Grealish's family quite well, and Jack Grealish's brother was like, because they didn't play Jack in a 10, and it was like, yeah, it doesn't matter if they play Jack in a 10, they need 10 other players.
Yeah. Yeah, but you've still got to beat what's in front of
They're
you
all
and
over
play
the shop.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
Leeds played.
No, they were good, and don't get me wrong, they were very good.
The question is, are there another 3 teams that are worse than Leeds that they can stay up?
Well, I think Burnley may be in trouble. I think I
Mhm.
gave them probably too much props on our show, on the prediction show. So I thought they were shocking.
Yeah.
I went, whoa, these are in trouble.
Mm.
and
You know
and
what? You probably don't realise how far Kyle Walker, for example, has dropped until you watch it for the team.
Right.
I watched that and I thought that's why Kyle Walker's not at City anymore. And maybe when you're in the trenches of it and he's there with you, you don't see it as much. You watch it for another team, he was dog shit.
Just very quickly, just want to clarify this. Wissa will not leave Brentford for free next summer because the club have an option to add another year on, and that club has the option, not the player. So they can just say to Wissa, it's tough crap, you're staying for another year after this summer as well, after next summer. So no, he's still technically got 2 years because the club can activate it whenever they want. So yeah. So come on, you're free to go down. Come on, Martin, free to go down.
Burnley, I'm going to change it. Burnley. I think Wolves will have enough.
Do you?
Yeah. Sunderland are going to be. You're not going to like this. They will surprise you. I think Granit Xhaka was in a stupid bit of business.
But then again, were West Ham that bad? Same thing for Everton.
You're going to say yes. I know you will. So
I didn't watch the game, so I can't say that.
I haven't watched them all. I'm gonna guess Burnley. I'm gonna say Brentford. I'm still sticking on Brentford, but I'm gonna add Burnley in. Take Brentford. Yeah, Brentford, Burnley. I'm gonna say Wolves. No, I will say Wolves. Yeah, unless yeah. But then again, ask me again in 10 days when the window's shut.
Yeah, that is the most important time because we haven't covered this as much as what we normally would because the window is still open. So we don't know who's going to be where. If Wissa stays at Brentford and he pulls his head out of his arse, Brentford could potentially stay up because they've got someone who can score enough goals. Well, yeah, exactly. So Brentford could be better off than what we think they are right now. So
that, by the way, doesn't help you is when Brentford are paying nearly 60 mil to get their guy out the door.
Yeah,
at Bournemouth.
Yeah, but he's a lot younger, isn't he? That's the thing.
The prices are out of control. Prices are out of control now.
They are, yeah.
Now
that's the problem.
They've been out of control for over a decade.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I think the worst now. I think they've gone really
Yeah, well,
well.
yes,
Mm.
yes, because their players going for way too much money.
You got
No.
let's say it as it is, Dan. You got bang average.
Yep.
Shy
Players going for 50 million, yeah.
50, 60 million quid here.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed.
And they haven't got the reputation, they haven't got the CV to back any of that up.
Yeah.
I
That's
felt
why
the same
this
way
come
about
out,
Sean Wright Phillips
you
when he
know.
went to City. I didn't think he was worth 29 million or whatever you paid for him then.
No,
So-
Wright Phillips was out of our academy.
Oh no, it was when he went to.
We sold him to Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea, they sold him to.
Well, what was the big one? He also went for stupid money when he went to QPR.
Sterling. No, Sterling was the number one that I thought.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
he
talking
did
Sean
well.
Wright Phillips. Sean Wright Phillips went to QPR for stupid money when Venky took over. Venky's took over.
Yeah, it was only about 5-6 mil. Wasn't loads, I don't think.
It was
'Cause
ridiculous.
he came back to City for 8 million quid from Chelsea. The only reason he
Oh,
left
right,
City was
25,
because we were going into administration and we didn't get that money.
So Chris D is saying 40 is the new 25. I was talking to my wife last night and explaining, we were talking through the Isak situation again and everything, and people who are trying to compare the Isak thing with Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I'm sitting there going, no, that lad finished out his contract. He finished out his contract and was ready to go on a free. But Madrid wanted him before the contract was over.
Yeah.
So they paid what, 5 million, 10 million, 8
10
million,
million,
somewhere in
yeah.
there?
10 million to play in the Super Cup.
Well, to get him out of his contract a month early. And my wife is just sitting there going, 10 million pounds? And I said, it's kind of ridiculous when you think that in 1996, a certain player went from Blackburn to Newcastle for 15 million. And that was a world record fee at that time. 10 million for a month. 10 million for a month of Trent Alexander's time.
Yeah, that was because of all the money that they made on shirt sales out in Club World Cup, though.
Yeah. They probably made
Madrid
50 million on that 10 million, didn't they?
10 million, and they come back with 40 mil on shirt sales.
Sure, absolutely.
They're not daft. The other side of the coin is, by the way, I'm surprised. City do seem to be the only club selling at reasonable prices. That Magpie go for 30 million quid. Rico was at 35. We're not trying to hold people into ransom.
Yeah, but you can afford not to do that, though, where a lot of clubs can't afford.
If Akanji goes for 15 million quid, he's only just turned 30. He was 30, turned 30 4 weeks ago.
Right.
July. Yeah. He's a treble winner. He can play right back, centre back. How there's only one club coming at him at 15 million, I do not know.
I don't know why we're not really sniffing around that, to be fair. That is a bargain.
Anyway, turning the nose up at 10 million euros. Only what I paid 10 million euros for Edison. Pixel. What are we, a car boot?
Clearly.
A pie used to be £1. Thanks, Ian.
Yeah. God, yeah. Dan, who were your free to go down, by the way?
Same. I was already prepared. I think if Brentford lose Wissa, I think they're guaranteed to go down. I don't think they've got enough to stay up. I think Burnley, and it hurts me to say it because of my friends who are staunch fans, but I think Wolves is going down. I think Sunderland is going to be in that 15-16 range. I think they've splashed the promotion cash well.
Yeah.
Like Martin said, Xhaka was a fine bit of business, but at the same time, all of those players that they've brought in since being promoted, I think 80% of them
90% of them, it's
85% are going to the African Cup of Nations. So I think there will be some struggles for them in those times, and that's where they'll fail. That's where they'll lose points. Fair play to them against West Ham, but I don't think that they'll have the wherewithal to be. They won't be mid-table. I think they'll be just above the relegation zone. 15, 16, 17 is my thought.
Yeah, especially because all the players Brentford.
Burnley, Brentford,
Brentford and
Wolves in
Wolves.
that order. In that
So
order. I
we're
think
losing
Wolves will
2
finish bottom.
stabilised teams, aren't we? I mean, Brentford finished 10th, and now we're saying
Yeah.
they're going to get relegated. It's absolutely
Well,
crazy.
but they've lost their 3 best players.
I know they have, but it's crazy to think that a team that finished 10th would be then relegated the next season. I mean, how often would you say that in a Premier League campaign, especially when they've been in the Premier League for as long as they have as well, stabilised themselves very well. They've got to hope they've still got gems coming through their system to be able to keep them up, which is what they've relied on, haven't they, with their scouting system.
Can I say United? Can I just chuck United in?
Of course you can. They could
go
down.
No, they're not going to get relegated.
No, I think they'll finish 9th. Will probably be the highest they finish. I think.
Ooh, I've got them. I still think they'll sneak in top 6, 7.
No, they can't.
Much I hate them.
I'll lose my bet.
I thought they were very good. As much as I thought Arsenal were lucky to get out of there with that.
Yeah, they were better than they've been. Arsenal weren't firing on all cylinders. It'd be interesting to see how they would come up against a team who will really attack their back line, because
you'll see in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
That'll be nice.
Confused over the Tyler Dibling valuation. What do you think he's worth? What is Tyler Dibling worth? Well, that's a very good question, and this will be the last topic tonight. Then Tyler Dibling, Newcastle were very interested in him.
You've got to say whatever they want. You've got to say whatever value him as.
Exactly. No, Southampton value. Of course it is. But
I can say different.
we scouted him, and our scouts were very impressed. So I don't understand why we're not in for him. And I think it's because we got Alanga. But I still think Dibling can play in centre midfield as well as being a right winger. He's young. He's got a lot of time ahead of him. Big ceiling. I mean, he was not worth 100 million. Let's face it. I mean, that was stupid money that they were saying. I think personally, after one season in the Premier League, he did impress in some games. I mean, you are looking at around about that 50, 60 million mark, aren't you? Personally, because of his age and his ceiling.
They wanted 100.
Which was daft.
They weren't going to get 100. Then they wanted 80. They weren't going to get 80. I would say 40.
Ooh. See, I think a little bit more. Between 50, 60.
Think he's that good.
Yeah, but again, 40 is the new 20. 25 is the new 40, or 40 is the new 25. You know?
Yeah.
So what do you think he's worth, Dan?
Probably somewhere in that 30, 35 range.
Wow. See, I thought more. I don't know.
But why? What do you see him as at a £50 million player as? Well, how?
You've got to look at age, obviously. So the younger you are, the more sell-on value you've got.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at his attributes. I mean, he's tall, he's quick, he's got a good touch, he's very good at keeping the ball retention. Yep. He's also
19, yeah.
Yeah, he's got an eye for goal. He's got an eye for a pass. I think there's something there. If the right coach got a hold of him, he could easily become an £80 million player. So that's
you think
the way
David
the valuation
Moyes, you think David Moyes is that coach?
No.
So you really think 2 goals and 1 assist is a 60 million pound player?
Between 50, 55.
Jesus.
But you've got to think about where he could go. That's where the valuation comes on. It's not about what he's just done. It was Isak worth 73 million looking at 6 goals in Spain for one season?
No, and we've had this debate.
Exactly. This is what I mean. It's the scouting system, seeing the player's ability and seeing the potential.
I'm not sure Isak will fit to Liverpool, if I'm honest with you.
I think he could fit in any team.
I honestly
do. I really think he can. I think he can fit into any team.
I mean, I didn't want to say this early because it comes across really I don't mean it in a derogatory way. You lose the safety net when you go into Liverpool. You go to Liverpool, you've got to perform right away. At Newcastle, you've still got that people love him. They want him to stand. You're not about win right now. Liverpool are.
Yeah.
You go to Liverpool, you've got to win. So like Jack Grealish had the Aston Villa safety net around him. walked into Manchester City and went, forget it.
Yeah.
Can't do this. Calvin Phillips the same. Calvin Phillips was one of the best English midfielders around at the time. Was brilliant at Leeds, walked into Manchester City and became a deer in a headlight and didn't know what to do.
Fair enough.
Pep should have got the best out of him, to be fair.
No, because I don't think he could do what Pep wanted him to do.
Yeah. He's in Salah, but it, right. How do Liverpool play football? Liverpool play with the ball on the floor, don't they? They don't play with the ball in the air, which suits Isak's style. Isak doesn't like the ball being humped up to him. He doesn't like the ball in the air. He very rarely scores headers. Isak will flourish in the Liverpool team because
you just said don't score headers. Then why
very rarely.
Very rarely. Van Kirker's going to be balling down then.
But look, they'll put low balls into the box. They'd be very rarely putting. If they put high balls in the box, you'd be looking at Virgil van Dijk to get on the end of them from like corners, free kicks, Gappo, players like that.
So where does Salah go?
Well, Salah stays on the right, doesn't he?
But then you got Frink. This is the bit that I've never said it, but what does confuse me a little bit is Salah and Frimpong are going to want to do the same thing, in essence.
Yeah, I mean they could get in the way of each other through the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think I need to see it in action before I see it. Because you said Teki, is he going to drift over to the left wing now?
Yeah, because he's done it loads of times for us. Where he likes to be the next Henry, doesn't he? That's what he models his game on.
No, not Isak, Teki.
You might have to sit on the bench.
We'll say it's going to be an intriguing 10 days. I'll tell you that.
It is.
It is.
Very much so.
Very much so. Just to let you know, Tyler Dibling, he's 5'10". According to this, he's left midfield, but he's not his right midfield. He's only 19. He got relegated in a team that were pretty much poor, weren't they? Let's face it. But I still liked him. Big chances. What's expected assists? 1.46 per game. So really the way that he plays his football and the chances he creates for his teammates, he should be getting an assist a game according to the stats. Passing accuracy, 84%. That obviously needs to improve a little bit. You always want them to be around about 90-92 if you can.
That's when the Premier League started.
Yeah.
Show my age there.
I've used too much electricity today. Total duels, 1.4 a game. Successful dribbles, 1.4 a game. You want that a tad little bit higher, potentially. I don't know. There's just something about him. There's something about Tyler Dibling.
You really like him, don't you?
I do.
You really like him.
I do. I've seen him get hold of the ball when there's 4 players around him and have the level head to play out of the situation without panicking. And there's not many players can do that when they're under pressure. And that, for me, is a very good sign of a very, very good player. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, guys, don't forget, in the description, at the very top of the description is Martin's channel. Click on it, subscribe to it, and see us over on his channel next week. I think we'll be doing Tuesday again. Hopefully.
No, Tuesday I can't do next week. I'm at a game.
Tuesday
We'll
night.
start it out and we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll sort out and let you know when the next one is. But fully enjoyed this. It's nice just to sit and talk about actual football rather than just talking about the Isak saga, even though we did spend 30 minutes on it.
I think when you planned the show, I don't think we expected the flurry of information late last night. So to be fair, it was our first chance to talk about it. So.
Yeah, exactly. But it's great to speak about both clubs and also speak about other Premier League stuff. That's what we're here for. It's an open discussion about anything that's going on in football. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, on Martin's channel. Take care till then, guys.
See you, Martin. Good to see you. Bye, bye.
Take care.